Hello and welcome to the May 29th, 2020 Helm developer call. This call falls under the CNCF Code of Conduct. If you do not want to be recorded, please fall off the call and you can watch the recording later. I'm Robert, one of your hosts. Scott's taking notes and we get started. First order is the announcements. Scott, the floor is yours.
Sure. I mean, um, if well, if you well, I'll just go ahead and announce this. So we had some regressions in version 3.18.0 for just a few of them so far that we know of, specifically around OCI. And to our knowledge now, uh, there are there was a patch release 3.18.1 that was sent out yesterday. But there's at least one issue that we know of that was not fixed in it. Um, it is a case that only that that is only if you have a registry configuration file that is completely empty. Um, there is one other, so the vast majority of users will not have that. Um, but But if for whatever reason you just decided to clear out your config file in its normal spot and just create one with nothing in it, not even a normal JSON string, you would run into that problem with 3.18.0. Excuse me, even with 3.18.1. But some of the other problems have been fixed. There is one other issue that I am just going to save for the last just a discussion item about another report that I'm not able to reproduce. But anyway, that's the status of 3.18.1, and then another that fixes the empty config file, and perhaps any other fix that we find will be in 3.18.2 coming shortly. Um, that's all I had to say about it. Oh, Matt?
Well, I just wanted to add there was another regression in logging. It's a bug that came in. There is significantly less logging output. The pull request is already up to fix that, and we'll be reviewing it. But that is another one. It's not in so much in the form of a major function breaking regression, but things still will work there. But there is less verbose logging output when you use debug, and we know about it. We're working on that one as well.
Thank you.
We'll move into discussion. First thing in there is me backporting. Why are we doing it? And breaking. So I'm just going to ask the group. I'll just put the hard question out there. We're backporting things that are breaking, and it's impacting our community. It's impacting. I mean, I call them customers because they are customers of our project. So, are we going to put a moratorium on backporting breaking changes to?
So
I
can I
believe
jump
we
in
already
real quick?
did.
No,
Yeah.
I just want
Okay.
to put in real quick.
Sure.
We had put in a thing that said we are going to stop backporting after 317. And so there were a number of things that were backported to 318 that were not part of the plan because we said at 317 it is only going to be bug fixes and security fixes at that point. And then eventually the bug fixes fall off. And of course, Kubernetes package updates, those kinds of things.
Sure.
Otherwise, it was all going to stop. And yet we continued and we did bring in a fairly significant change that caused regressions, even though the policy was to, at that point, have stopped so we could focus on version 4. So we
Well,
actually went against what we documented and communicated as well.
Matt, I hate to be it's very rare that I disagree with what you say, but the communication around that was unclear at best. And there was communication that we had within our maintainers, specifically that I initiated and verified a number of times. And the the uh, the response was different than that. It was that uh, we had said that we would have one more um, uh, and that would be 318, but we were going to be very sparing until that point, and only under very specific conditions would we do the backport. And those
So,
conditions are listed. Um, if
but
we want to
at
split
no,
hairs around it, we can do that, but I have the
yes.
receipts if you would like to.
So, but we can't break current users, and we are in regressions because we broke current users, and that's why I'm bringing this up. Is
That's not a debate.
people
Let's
people are
let's
impacted. I'm sorry,
let's
George. Please
focus on
obvious.
the let's focus on the future. I think we have agreed that we're going to stop backporting now, so then we don't need to legalize.
Correct.
mitigate
It's
the
a
cost.
two-part. It's a two-part question, right?
The
question.
I will say we needed to do this ORS update at some point. It had taken a long time. It wasn't really a new functionality for 3.18. It was more of a, it was meant to be a backwards compatible update of a core library that we use so that Helm 3 wouldn't live on ORS 1 forever. It would have broken users the same way, whether it was 3.18 or a previous release. And it would still break users on Helm 4 as well. So the breakage was going to happen regardless. Obviously, our testing and coverage wasn't good enough. But yeah, let's focus on what to do going forward, probably more proactively.
Matt, you have your hand up if you'd be so kind.
Certainly. We didn't have to do this for Helm version 3. We did not need to make the change. There was this thing saying we needed to do it. If they were going to stop doing it, then we could have forked the ORS Go library and kept that alive for any bug or security fixes as needed. It would have been minimal work compared to what we're doing to switch over, and would definitely have kept compatibility alive. This is a common, not unheard of practice. We already know the timetable for how long 3 is going to stay alive. It's only into next year. In fact, 3, about a year from now, a little over a year from now, is going to hit end of life and no longer get security fixes. So it's not a significant amount of time to maintain something where we didn't need to do that. We did not have good automated testing around this that caught things. And so it needed significant manual testing, just as the other stuff did. But that testing did not occur. So when we were looking at this, you know, Terry did a wonderful job of trying to do that. But a lot of things you've got to get through testing. And it's not just through testing through a local server you have there, but testing that integrates with, you know, Docker Hub and GHCR and Azure and Google and all of the others to make sure that we carry these compatibility things forward. And that testing just wasn't done. We don't have great integration testing around those things, if at all. And so we took a major piece in something that's supposed to generally be in maintenance mode, and then we swapped it out without doing significant testing. And now we're dealing with regressions, which is impacting Helm v4 timelines, and regression upon regression is showing up. And this was one of those things we did not need to backport and fix. And the
Matt,
previous pull requests that I had
is
tested, just
your
please,
goal
the
here?
previous pull requests that I had tested on this, that because several had came through, had major issues with it. And I continually pointed them out. And those things weren't even tested for manually in this one. So this is taking a large chunk of my time to go in and work on things in it. And it should never have gotten here. So we need to take a hard, long look at how we're doing things, testing, regression-wise, and all of this, because this shouldn't have happened.
So I brought this discussion point up, and if I may have a moment, can we agree that we are not backporting from this point forward and maintain that, you know, Kubernetes updates, security patches, you know, after we get through this regression, not to impact our current users as a group of maintainers here?
I believe
I think this has been a great tool.
Just moving forward, like forward thinking, moving forward, can we just say, hey, this is 3.18, this is it, we're fixing these regressions, and then put our focus back onto 4 and keep 3 going until it goes end of life sometime next year? As maintainers, can we agree to this, or is this something for further discussion?
Robert, has anyone suggested otherwise?
No, I'm asking the group. That's why I make sure.
Yes, I think we've documented that, and we all very firmly agree.
Then we very all can just affirmatively say, yes, we're done, and move on from this.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We're done.
Correct.
All right.
Again, yes. Yeah.
All right. So not to beat a dead horse, I'd like to move on. Mr. Lima, sir, the floor is yours. You're on mute, sir.
Sorry about that. Yeah, not too much. I made the change I said to keep exactly the same format as before. So if I just can get a review on that, I use an annotation. So annotate the manifest before sending it to the post render, then split them back and remove the annotation afterwards. So should meet the format. So if I can get a review, that's all.
Carlos, me personally, once we get past this regression and of at least 318.2 and get users back into a working state of Helm, I will put some time in my Helm afternoons to put focus on it. So yes, we can commit to that.
Thank you very much.
All right. Benoit, Monsieur, the floor is yours.
Yeah. My issue is not very important with the regression discussion. We introduce a limitation with the chart size and the size limit because I have a security issue, and I've made a pull request. I thought it was quite urgent, but I think people are less asking the fix now, so I think it's okay to keep it for M4, MV4. So I think it's less important to discuss now. There is no
Okay.
rush to review the pull request now. I don't think this is something we want to introduce before MV4. It's really to have a way to not be blocked about the chart size. Yeah.
This is Helm. This is Helm pull request 30743.
Yeah.
Correct? And it's for Helm 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had a few reviews. I made some change, but it's not. I think it is not something we would like to backport. I think it was my main question. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. And also,
Thank
I
you.
have another question. Do we want for MV4 add integration testing a little bit more?
I'm a big fan of tests. So if you will not, I will. Yes, please, more tests. I love anyone who writes tests. If you don't write tests, my love for you is not there. So yes, if you want to do any type of testing, integration testing, 100%. You got my support, and I don't want to speak for other maintainers, but I'm pretty confident it's unanimous.
Yeah. Well, certainly, and we need to, as we get towards the end of the feature development, we need to have some sort of like compatibility with Helm 3 workflows. Sorry. We basically need to make sure that Helm 4 is functionally equivalent to Helm 3 for the most part.
Yeah.
As we get closer. So there's some sort of regression testing suite would be awesome. Regression testing suite would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. All right. Next on the list, Scott, the floor is yours. You have a pull request or an issue, I'm sorry.
Can anyone reproduce this issue?
I will link the issue to the group. Bring it up myself so I know what we're talking about.
Or has anyone been able to reproduce this issue? And we can follow up with this as well. It doesn't have to be do it on the call.
I'm going to be looking into it as soon as the call's done.
Yeah.
As I shared.
I will, and I'm asking, can we? Because I have not been able to, either through clearing everything locally on my machine and running inside of a Golang container.
Okay.
I'll list my exact steps as well, so folks can try it, and they can please also try your own steps if you can think of a different way to reproduce this.
Sure.
Thank you, Andrew. Scott, floor's still yours.
Just that I think in light of the last conversation that came up, I think we ought to have an actual retrospective where we have time to discuss points, because I don't think it's appropriate to do when we don't have time, whether it's public or not.
Your suggestion is to have a retrospective. Would you like it to take place during this call, or would you like it to be separate, scheduled? What's your suggestion here?
I think we should do it when we have enough time to do it. So I don't think it should happen during a dev call for that reason.
I was, we've had a lot of conversations the last couple of days. I was just going to suggest us as maintainers just getting together and just having a discussion just in general, not necessarily looking at the retrospective. We have not had a developer only just discussion just as a team.
I can take the follow-up. I will put out a Slack message in our maintainer Slack and get times that make times and time zones. Andrew, I know you travel a lot. So nailing you down is probably going to be the hardest, but to come up with a time and a date that would work for most maintainers, because I'm going to get everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for taking the lead. I think it's just needed just because we've had some new faces come in since we've really had a chance to just come together as a team. So I think it'll be helpful.
Awesome. All right. Is there any other discussion points that we have for this call? We have about 8 minutes left. HIP review. Oh, yes, Matt.
I'll
I'm
jump
sorry.
in. Scott, I reproduced it.
Great. Let's if you can.
I will
Post your
document on there
steps.
exactly how I reproduced it.
Okay.
I just followed the steps that were already in the instructions on how to reproduce it. I picked a specific chart that I reproduced it on, and I can share that. But otherwise, I just followed his exact steps.
Interesting. All right, we'll compare notes.
Matt, can you? I think it says it's tagged on verified.
Yeah, I will mark it verified and bug it,
Okay.
and I'll do all that.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right. HIP reviews. Normally, Scott, you're the king of HIPs. So do you have any? George? No.
The only one that the only one that I have in mind, Matt, I will simply follow up with you on, since I want you to give yourself time to get into the proper context.
Okay.
Yeah. Happy to go look once the regressions are handled.
Yep.
Do we have any shout outs? So,
Yes. I think I'm going to miss some people, but Terry, Benoit, am I saying your name correctly, Benoit?
Yeah, yes, perfect.
I thought so. Okay. George, Matt, Robert, Andy. I may be missing someone. Myself, I may be missing someone, but folks that have been basically just like burning midnight oil, fixing regressions in a release. Thank you all.
you appreciate it. Social media amplifications. I have a last one. We are doing regressions, so I'm not sure who owns the social media channel for Helm, but as we're going through, we're pushing through those new regressions, acknowledge to the community that we are fixing these things and the new releases are out. That would be my only thing. So I'm not sure who owns that. Is that you, Scott, or Karen?
Karen generally, but we can you can add an action item for me to ping Karen about this and coordinate.
Okay. All right, and we have assignments for next call. Moderator, anyone down for moderator?
Sure, I
can do it.
Oh no, sorry, I'm away.
You're away. I can do it.
I'll be there if no one else wants to.
There, you or me. I don't mind.
Let's just trade off. I'll do it.
Scott, I'll denote you. Robert will do notes. Issue triage. Myself, anybody else for issue triage?
Yeah, put me down. And also for PRs.
Got it.
As well.
Core maintainers for next, Robert, Scott, George, Matt, Andrew, all of us going to be here.
I think I'm already frankly about this. It's fine.
Okay. If no one has anything else, we can ironically, and for the first time I've ever, wrap up a call early.
Hey guys, I wanted to discuss something regarding my PR.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ashman. Do you have the PR linked?
Yeah, sure. Just give me a minute.
And for future Ashman, we generally put those in the discussion points in this document here. So feel free to update
Okay, sure.
for future reference.
Yeah, so this one is regarding the issue of API versions flag of Helm template command. There are two ways to use it, but the documentation didn't have that, so I added that, and I added a test case for that. And I got some review comments from Terry. So I just wanted to reach out to you guys and see if you have any feedback for this.
Me personally, I did see this PR. I have not. The regressions have taken, I think, a lot of our time, but this is something we can look at once we get past regression. I can safely say that it's top of the list for us.
Sure.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Then, as being said, we'll end this meeting. Everyone have a great week, and we'll see everyone next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Have a nice week.